My name is Erica Chappell,
And my name is Dusty Mogg.
and today we are discussing peace.
Peace is a broad topic, so when asked to discuss the meaning of peace and why it is so important, it can be hard to figure out where to start.
So today we're going to start with defining peace. Peace can be defined as the absence of war. We value peace because it enables us to continue our lives, rather than ending them through warfare. Peace is the highest and noblest aim of man because of how horrific war is to mankind.
History shows how prevalent war was all around the world. It was such an ordinary event that teachers such as Plato and Aristotle believed that civilization would lose the virtues of a warrior without war. They believed bravery and self-sacrifice could only be shown through war, and without it, society would suffer.
Luckily, Judeo-Christian values and the Enlightenment of the 18th century brought back different ideals.
Peace became so important when man discovered all the benefits that it came from nations refraining from warfare.
All nations want to maximize their wealth and influence. The Enlightenment provided a principle that peaceful coexistence and free trade would increase the national wealth and superiority.
Trade and exchange now had the power to turn an enemy into a friend, and a modern world was born.
This new idea brought a long period of peace. The advancement of free trade through Britain, France, Germany, and the United States made these countries interdependent of each other.
Nations were able to produce products that they had the greatest competitive advantage in, which led to cheaper goods and better utilization of resources. Commerce had brought once divided nations closer together in peace.
Freedom is an important aspect of peace. It makes nations more interdependent on each other and allows the exchange of ideas throughout nations. This gives people who live in oppressive parts of the world an idea of what life is like in a free society.
The free flow of information was an important factor in the end of the Soviet Empire. It turned many communist colonies into allies of the West.
It is important to note that peace does not mean weakness when it comes to defense. President Ronald Reagan exclaimed that strength, not weakness, is the surest guarantee of peace.
Nations that are attempting to expand their power will respect a strong military and will not attempt to engage in warfare.
Frederick Bastiat exclaims that this is because when a nation course is determined not by ballots, but by bullets, the checks and balances the democracy exercises on foreign aggression are absent. Lack of funds may limit the capacity of a dictatorship to pursue an aggressive foreign policy, but public opinion cannot, because the people cannot change the government.
War ends up breaking out when individuals are told what to do by the government. The government is working on achieving national goals, and they use coercion to force people to fit in with what the state wants.
In these situations, resistance from the people is dealt with extremely harshly.
We have seen examples of this happening multiple times. The Nazis' final solution, the Soviet Gulag, Mao's Cultural Revolution.
During times like these, information about free societies is hidden from the population, and conversations regarding change are stopped.
It is wise for nations to avoid situations like this because it is not the government that creates a network for economic links. It is people within a nation through their goods.
Economic links are not the only link that are important to keeping the peace. Cultural and spiritual links are necessary as well. And it is the people that create these links, not the government.
When government places tariffs and quotas on trade, they are hurting their own economies.
They say they want their economies to grow and businesses to flourish, bringing more money into the country, but then they create policies that make it hard for companies to do just that.
Bastiat tells us that the governments obstruct the free flow of goods and services, ideals and beliefs that create a common interest in peace.
Now that we have covered the definition of peace, the time before peace, what happened when peace was introduced, what can happen when peace is broken, and who creates those important links, we can talk about how to promote peace.
There are three main principles that are important to maintaining the peace. The first being free trade.
Free trade is a positive-sum game, which means everyone who is participating is gaining something, whether it be money or products.
The next principle to achieving peace is liberal democracy. There is no example of liberal democracies going to war with each other, and it is unlikely to ever happen.
The last principle to help keep the peace is military strength. A country wants to maintain a strong military so that countries that start to get aggressive know that it would not be an easy fight, and they would most likely not gain anything from starting a war.
Nations coming together in free trade has kept the peace between the nations. It is unhindered cooperation of individuals around the world that provides many gains for everyone.
We learned a lot from Frederick Bastiat about peace and how important it really is to a successful economy. And we hope you did too from watching this video. Thank you.